Hey everybody, I'm Mel. I'm the director of Girls Rock Michiana, and I also play bass in a band called SHAM. My
Woo!
Shambles are with me today. We're going to tell you a little bit about how we got together and what inspires us and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm Mel, again, the M in SHAM. Sarah?
And I am Sarah, the S in Sham, the tip of this iceberg. Um, I was born and raised in Mishawaka, Indiana. I actually learned my first instrument was the organ. Very, very classy, very popular. I mean, all the kids were playing organ. Oh, wait, that was piano. Um, and I really liked it. And I had to use my both hands and a foot, get in there, and it was really interesting. I dug it until my mom was like, you can take over for the church organist. And I was like, actually, I'm good. I'm going to stop. I'd rather play the drums. But my parents weren't into me getting drums. So I had to wait until I was 18. I bought a drum kit and I played on it for 2 years and really enjoyed it. And then when I moved to LA, I sold it. So I went without my drums, but thought of them fondly. And when I finally moved back, I bought a set and started playing with Sham. And it's been great.
Woo, thank you, Sarah. All right, next in the band, if you're going in SHAM order, is the H, Happy.
Hi, I'm Happy. I'm the H in Sham. I was born and raised in the South Bend, Mishawaka area, River Park, great place. I started playing the guitar when I was 10 years old because I was really into the White Stripes and Green Day and Nirvana and all that type of stuff, and I really, really wanted to do that. And so naturally, I signed up for classical guitar lessons at Miller's Guitar Academy and didn't do anything resembling any of the things that I liked until I was like 16 when I said, screw it. And I started my first band with some friends in high school, and we just played trashy punk music and had a good time.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hooray. All right, now, A for Abby.
I'm Abby. I am born and raised in Mishawaka. I love this area. When I was 15, my parents gifted me an acoustic guitar for my birthday. I had been wanting to play an instrument. I kind of tried piano, tried other things, but landed on acoustic guitar. So it was a really special gift for me, and it gave me a chance to put my lyrics to music. I love to write poetry, so that's one thing that draws me to music is it's a good vehicle to get your words out, to get your emotions out, and to be heard in that way. So I continued playing and practicing in my own bedroom, never really showing anybody what I was doing or having anybody listen. It was just kind of for me. And I was performing. I did Mishawaka High School musical theater and did some theater
Woohoo.
at South Bend Civic. Yeah. And even did one Firefly musical, which was a great way to sing and practice and make friends. And then I started a family and then kind of came back around to just deciding that we were going to meet in Mel's basement and just rock out and see what happened. Oh, Indy.
Yeah, I thought I heard a little squeaker. Sarah, would you like to introduce Indy to everyone?
Yes, I'd love to. She's being a
There
little,
she is.
yeah, she wants to be involved. So here she is.
Oh, hi, Indy. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, the first Shamlet.
Yeah, our first fan.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm Mel. And I started playing guitar around the age of 12. I was really into Nirvana and 90s alternative rock, everything that was on the radio at that time. My older brother was in a cover band where they covered a lot of those songs. So I was constantly hearing that in the basement um, and witnessing them, hang out, have fun at practice, carry all their equipment up the stairs, put it into some dude's truck, bring it back at like 3 in the morning. And I was like, wow, that seems really cool. I want to do that someday. So I started playing guitar, and I played in my 7th and 8th grade talent show at Beeger Junior High. In 7th grade, I played Smells Like Teen Spirit. and
Classic.
and Weezer, Undone the Sweater Song. In 8th grade, I played Brain Stew by Green Day and the new wave version of Polly, which is on a Nirvana B-sides album. And then after that, after a brief jaunt in the choir, playing some Beatles songs, I stopped playing guitar. And I kind of got to a point where I didn't think I was good enough to, really make it. So I put it down and I didn't pick it back up for many years later, until Sarah asked if I wanted to start a band. And I said, yeah, sure, I do want to start a band. It was something I'd always wanted to do ever since I was 5, 6, ever since I heard my brother's band playing in the basement. And it was something that I hadn't accomplished yet. So Sarah came over with her drum set and I had my guitar. And she asked if it would be cool if Happy and Abby could come too. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really afraid for them to hear how I play guitar. But okay, sure, they can come. Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll have a fun, good time. And we did have a fun, good time. And almost immediately, we started writing these really fun songs and became SHAM. And
yes,
the rest is history.
Shammin', baby. Shammin' and jammin'.
Shammin' and jammin'.
Shammin' and jammin'.
Yes, I love that you mentioned some of your musical influences because I feel like we all have really different ones, but we kind of bring them all in. Like I love a lot of jazz. I love Ella Fitzgerald and I love Nora Jones. And I also listen to the Beatles a lot. I love John Legend. Regina Spektor is someone I love. Taylor Swift. Your twinsy, Mel. I think Mel looks kind of like Taylor Swift.
I've been told. More so a few years ago.
Yes, Heart and The Cars. I feel like just all musical influences of mine that whenever I hear it, I'm just so inspired. It's like a musical muse for me to listen to, and then it makes me want to make a song or just get that out there,
Totally. And I feel like we both, Abby and I, are sisters, and we grew up in a very conservative house. So we didn't really listen to much secular music. We listened to a lot of oldies growing up, which I think that shaped me a lot. And then I remember my sister Robin started bringing home stuff like Cake, Fashion Nugget, The Presidents of the United States of America, They Might Be Giants, Weezer. And I was like, I didn't know music could be fun and silly. I'm laughing as I listen to this album. This is amazing.
Irreverent. Yeah.
So good. And then I got into B-52s, and then I got into weird electronic music like Enon and Crystal Castles. Like I love a lot of different kinds of music. So yeah, whatever makes me laugh, whatever makes me rock, I'm into.
Yes, it makes you feel comfortable that you don't, when you're giving a really serious message, sometimes then you trick yourself into thinking that the music has to match and it has to be this exquisite, flawless thing, but it really doesn't. It can be noise and it can really be meaningful and fun still and be serious too. But I think it was good for me in SHAM to realize that I could just be silly and give myself
playful.
a break and be playful. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Once I stopped worrying about how good I was, whether or not, other people would accept me as a musician and just focused on having fun and enjoying myself, it just all fell into place. And, you just really got to go for it and have a good time.
I think having friends, having a band that was friends helped because I felt like a safe space, you know what I'm saying?
We already had a relationship, but I mean, we can always become better musicians, like you can always, but you just need to take it where you're at and just be like, hey, this is where I'm at and I want to do this. So just do it. And you know what? You'll be practicing more in a band. So you will get better. I mean, it's just, that's how it works.
Yes.
Happy? Anything to add?
I guess I not really. You kind of covered it all. I mean, after spending like 5 years playing classical guitar and feeling a lot of pressure to play these really big, important musical pieces perfectly. Just saying, you know what, I don't care if I, make mistakes, or you know what, the mistakes are the best part, and just like really just rocking out, and just making it feel like it's it's mine, and like what I'm doing is coming from me. It's just,
Mhm.
it's hard to explain, but once you get comfortable, and once you allow yourself to just have fun and just find the right energy, it's magical. It's a complete transformation.
Totally. So, guys and girls, who are your favorite female musicians?
Dun dun dun. I actually love a female musician that is hated by most.
Oh, do tell.
Yoko Ono.
Oh,
I
Okay.
I really I first at first I didn't like it. At first I was like, John Lennon, you, but he played his song, Yoko song, his song, Yoko song. So you'd have to get up, it's a record, and move the needle to actually skip Yoko's songs. So at first I listened to them unwillingly. And then suddenly they became some of my favorite songs on the albums. So there you go.
awesome. I'm into
Listen
that.
to it. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I really appreciate female artists who just really go for it and uh, let their freak flag fly.
Like
Bjork.
Bjork.
One of my
Yes, I was just
Yeah,
thinking Bjork.
yeah, yeah, because everything she does is just so from her heart, and it's like a pure expression of who she is, like her inner essence and spirit, and it's gorgeous. It can get weird, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. Sometimes it's not even my cup of tea, but I really admire her for that. Um, Another artist I really like is Meryl from Tune Yards.
Oh yeah.
Yes. The Loop Queen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the way she sings. Sometimes her first album is my favorite, and there are moments on that album she's not even um, she's singing off key, and but it's just so raw and so emotive. It doesn't matter because I can feel it. I'm right there with her in those emotions and in those experiences and those pure expressions of joy, of rage, of whatever. So I admire women that really go for it. Also a big fan of Kim Gordon and
Oh,
a lot of the stuff she's done with Sonic Youth.
Yeah.
And I was really inspired by her to get back into music. I saw her play in 2004. I think she was around 50 then,
yeah.
Yeah.
and she just killed it on stage. And, I thought, like, at that point in time, I thought, maybe I missed this part of my life. Maybe I'm too old now to do this. And after seeing her play, I was like, no, you're not. She's
You
not.
can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it. All you got to do is want it and make it happen.
PJ Harvey is another that comes to
Oh yeah,
mind.
I love her too.
So good, a very powerful message, very strong voice. And sometimes her
Mhm.
songs, the way they record it, it's so quiet that you turn it up and then halfway through the song it just explodes and you blow out your speakers and your eardrums. But it's so
Yeah,
awesome.
Your socks
yeah,
are blown off.
Yeah, literally.
yeah. Happy. Would you like to
Um,
share your thoughts?
so you already named probably one of the coolest living people on the planet, Kim Gordon. Um, Few people just ooze cool like she does. It's honestly incredible. Sonic Youth is one of my favorites, but Courtney Barnett, she is this guitar virtuoso from Australia who just makes the most fun, yet she's so fun and poppy, and yet she has the most like boring, just monotonous voice. It's incredible. I love her. She sounds unimpressed by everything. It's great. Her albums, Sometimes I Sit and Think and Sometimes I Just Sit, is one of my favorites of all time. She's incredible.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Okay, I have to shout out Alanis Morissette too because she's
Yeah.
fantastic and she's so authentic. And I think that was like in interviews that I've heard, it was one of the most important things for her because she started out in coffee houses where you're sitting 5 feet away from the people who are listening to you, and it's got to be real or else they're like, Psh, next, you know. So I love her work and she's awesome. And also, I really respect and like Imogen Heap.
Oh
She
yeah.
Oh,
does a
sure.
lot of recording, you know, kind of tune yards ish in the way that it's a lot of her stacked up to make these amazing sounds. And right now, especially with everything that's going on, and having to be home and lockdown, working to make music on your computer and collaborating with people that way, you know, she's a prime example of like you can make some amazing things if you just experiment and work at it.
All right, guys. So we've been in a band for 3 years now.
Woo!
Yeah, awesome.
We did it.
We
3
did
years.
it. We did it.
Yeah.
So
Dun.
I would like us all to share. We'll go around in sham order and share our favorite moment from
Ooh.
our sham years.
Oh
It can
my-
be moments if you can't narrow it down to one, but
Oh, well, so many come flooding in. I'm going to just go with when we got to play with Daikaiju at McCormick's
Yep.
because I absolutely love this band. Had seen them live like 5 times. In case you don't know, Daikaiju comes into town and usually sets their instruments on fire at the end. It's very much performance art. It's like speed death metal, surf rock. I don't really know how to describe it any different than that. But we were asked to play open for them, and that alone was like a huge honor. And then when we were playing, we were dressed up as clowns because we're weird and we like to dress up. The whole crowd started singing along during one of our songs.
Yeah.
And it was just like such a surreal moment. I was like, oh my gosh, there's like 100 people in here and everyone's super into this and I'm super into this. It was like the energy was just very tangible and delicious. And that was like a very triumphant moment. There's actually another moment. We did a small kind of house party outside in the summer. And this is actually,
Where
I
are you going
enjoy
with
it.
this one?
Oh yeah, no. I enjoy this
Okay.
memory because it was so shocking. We tried to play a new song that we weren't probably quite ready to play out. Thank goodness it was a very small party of people, so it wasn't too many people to be humiliated in front of. But we got halfway through, and I just thought it was over. And so I stopped drumming, and everyone just like looked at each other, and they're like, "Yeah, not done." That was a really fun moment for me, just because it was so surreal. It was like, "Am I dreaming? Did this just happen?" Like, that's probably one of my favorite flubs. And everyone, of course, was really kind to us, so it was fine. That was a fun day.
love it. Awesome. All right, happy.
So I mean, the McCormick show was really honestly something pretty crazy. Just like, I mean, just being there with everybody in the building being so on board with what you're doing. It's kind of rare to get that because we are very weird and we're very noisy. And everybody even liked it when I like screech sang. It was, you don't get that often. It was incredible. I loved playing with Warren Dunes. Oh my gosh, the show where we played with Warren Dunes was simply phenomenal. They're an incredible group from Seattle. And then when we did the crappy Beatles show,
Oh yes.
one of my favorite moments ever is I was playing the drums for that show because we wanted to switch it up, make it weird, and I did the count off, right? Because we're like, we're doing our next song. Did the count off? Nothing happened.
Crickets.
I did the count off a second time. Nothing happened. And then everybody turns around to look at me like I'm crazy. I do the count off a third time, and finally we start playing.
Here comes the charm.
It was just, I mean, it was so perfect. It was so good. I think my dad actually asked me afterwards, like, they're like, oh my, he was like, how long did it take you guys to come up with that joke? And I said, that wasn't a joke. They just didn't start.
You're like,
It was
2 count-offs.
It was so good. It's sincerely one of my favorite moments jamming.
It was hilarious. I will say that. That's
Yeah,
so even when you
it was
mess
really
up
good.
though, it's if you can laugh at yourself, you're already ahead, because you're gonna mess up and it's kind of fun. You never know what's gonna happen.
That's
No.
true.
Oh.
Okay. All right, Abby.
So I would say I really enjoyed our second go around at recording our album. It was just a really good day. I felt
Mhm.
like we had put in the time and the practice to make an album, make up these songs, practice them, play them, feel proud of them, and want to record them. And then getting with Nate and putting it together, it was fun. It was exhilarating. It felt like it was nerve wracking, but it also felt good.
So good.
And I love that. And then I would say one of my favorite bloopers, actually, in retrospect, the one show at Smith's, we all wore
Oh no.
matching leopard dresses. We
Oh
looked
no.
Oh
super cute,
no.
but for some reason, nobody there got it. It felt
No.
like they got it, they didn't like it, they didn't
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like, oh, and it felt like a gut punch, honestly. And I
Yeah.
felt like I really had to recover from it. But I think so much growth happened that it's like, that's okay.
Mhm.
That one show where those people weren't feeling it, like it's a blip in the radar. And guess what? You're still you. You're still creating and doing all the good things you're doing. And do you like it? But it just helped me really decide, like, yeah, I like it. And I don't care if other people don't like it. And
Mhm.
I'm proud of it. So I guess
Excellent.
that would be my favorite blooper that turned out to be a good thing.
Yeah, we
So
grew a lot from that. My drum
yes.
kit literally malfunctioned on like the second song, and I lost
Yeah.
my kick drum basically. So the rest of the show was just for me. I didn't even know what to do. I was like, I'm so nervous. I don't feel like I can add in new stuff to make up for this missing drum. So now it's just like half of a. It was, yeah. I think
You
if that
lost
happened
my
again,
note in
I
one of the
would.
first
Yeah,
verses of a song and then just sang the rest of the song.
yeah,
I think I played the whole show like turned around, just like back facing the crowd, just
yeah.
because I was so embarrassed and
Yeah.
horrified. Yeah, it was not a good time.
Oh man. Oh man.
Well, we live to
Good
sham another day.
times.
Yes.
Indeed.
Oh, Zoom has
Okay,
the time limit on our meeting.
great.
Thank you, Zoom. Okay, cool.
Woo!
Thanks, Zoom.
Thanks, Zoom. Wow, how generous. Okay, my favorite moment. So my top moment is probably Rebel Art Fest 2018,
Yeah.
which was the shark suit show, and specifically, Happy's laughing because not many people know this, but I had a wardrobe malfunction right before we went on stage, and the zipper uh,
Yep.
popped off of its track, and Happy had to help me get it back on.
Yeah.
We had to get safety pins involved, and it was literally seconds. Like that, that almost did not make it on the stage because we could not. It was
Yeah.
broken. And then
Yeah.
like in the last second, like Happy managed to like fix it and get it on. And I
Yeah.
went out
My one moment.
there.
No,
Yeah.
you have more than one moment.
Yes. At least 3.
Yeah.
Just
I
kidding.
know.
Please.
Come on.
So many. So many.
Yeah, but another reason that show was great was because when we got there, I was so freaked out because it was our first festival type show, and up until that point, we had just had small shows and all ages venues and backyards and and stuff like that. So this felt like kind of the first like real deal show, and we got there and there weren't that many people there, so I was like feeling a little better about it. And then the wardrobe thing happened. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then we got on stage, and it was wild. People just started coming
Yeah.
to us
Yeah.
and filling the seats in front of the stage and filling in the back where people were standing, and that was such an amazing feeling.
There was kids like crowd surfing a big Tootsie Roll, or
Yes.
was it Smarties? You threw out a
Yeah.
Smarties
It was awesome.
inflatable,
Yeah.
Yes.
and they
Yes.
were like pushing it around. It felt really cool.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
totally. It ended up being a huge party, and so that's probably my favorite show. I also really liked when we played Swale Fest as the Mermaids. That was a really
Yes.
fun
Yeah,
one.
that was dope.
That popped to mind for me too.
Awesome. Yeah, that one was exciting because it was out of town. It was our first out of town show, and our usual fan base was not there to cheer us on and play along when we throw things at them and stuff like that. But yet people still liked us, and that felt really validating. That like
Yeah.
these strangers from another town really enjoyed us and like invited us back. So that
Yeah.
was exciting.
It was fun
Yeah.
times. I also loved May the 4th Be With You show.
Yeah,
We all were Star
with
Wars
the Music
characters.
Village.
Music
Shout out.
Village, yeah.
Yep.
It was awesome. That was
Yeah.
a good one. We got to play on a semi-truck and we played the song
Yeah.
about Large Marge, which is the ghost of a semi-truck driver. It felt so right.
It felt right.
Yeah,
Felt right.
it really did.
Yeah, it did. All right, cool. Well, let's say our goodbyes now to everyone watching. Are there any last words of wisdom or advice you'd like to share with aspiring musicians, aspiring bandmates, aspiring shamnels?
You know, you can focus on the technical stuff, but I feel like with music, the best thing to do is to feel it and to really like kind of like the better you get at letting go and just like living in that moment of music, the more fun you'll have. And the more fun you have, the more you'll want to do it. And the more you do it, the tighter everything will become. So don't get bogged down necessarily. I feel like there's so many times, especially when we're writing music, that it goes south all of a sudden in the middle of a song, and we just keep playing until we get back to that point. Like we don't just throw down our sticks or put down and just, you know, I guess sometimes we do, but most of the time we are like, no, we're finishing this song, like keep going, you know. And even if we do stop, we just collect ourselves and start again. So it's just fun. Just have fun with it.
Excellent advice. I agree.
I think the most important thing, kind of riding off what Sarah said, is authenticity. If you're into what you're doing, if you're really putting your all into it, even if you think it's terrible, as long as you're like, you know what, like this is me, darn it, people will hear that, they'll feel it, like, and they're gonna like it, because there's just something so infectious about seeing someone so genuinely, passionately, just like doing something they love. And that's all rock and roll is.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yes. My advice would be to find your people. So, you know, you could pour your heart out to maybe family members. They'll be like, I think you should maybe stick to volleyball or whatever it is you're doing. But maybe if you were to share it with some of your friends or somebody from church or somebody from school or somebody from the neighborhood, they might say, wow, that was so amazing. Like, you've inspired me. So find your people, find people that support you. That's one thing I love about SHAM is we love to tell each other yes and support each other's ideas. Find those people that support you. Yeah.
Excellent. Wow, you guys. I mean, I don't have anything left to say really.
Eat your veggies.
Eat your veggies.
Brush your chomps.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for sharing your experiences and your influences and your wisdom with our campers and with everyone else who's watching. So now we're going to do that part where I segue into a song
Whoa.
from our album.
Ice cream cones and lollipops. Oh my God, make the fake smile stop. A gooey hug from that chocolatey glob. I felt it.